All right, welcome everyone. We have another edition of Dr. T's podcast series, Success Stories. Tonight we have a very successful client of the doctor's, Mike Clark. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you.
So, Mike, you successfully completed the Nutrimost 40-day program, and we wanted to hear your thoughts on it, your experiences, and how it went for you.
It was amazing and pretty much life-changing. There's so many things I learned about myself and so many things that Dr. Vince and his staff helped me get through some of the harder things, and they answered any questions that I ever had when I went in every week.
So, in terms of your diet and your view of food and lifestyle, how did that change before and after?
Well, in the beginning, I didn't think my diet was that bad. I just found out how bad it truly was. And then they gave you somewhat of an education, and they gave you the program. And as long as you read the program and understood what you're getting into, it was actually quite easy to follow. And a lot of the things that I learned, I still apply since I haven't been on it for now. I don't know, was it 6 months almost now, Doc?
Yeah, about that time period. I guess that's
Yeah.
the important factor. It's a lifestyle change, and it's really getting down to what is it that created the problems with your health, which resulted in the problem with your weight. And like for you, Michael, what was a true motivating factor that basically said, I got to do something, something's got to change here?
Well, I always thought I was, I knew I was getting heavy. There's no doubt about that. I didn't think I was heavy as I was until Dr. Vince showed me a picture a while ago, and I'm going like, oh my God, I was that big. But I was always saying to myself, I need to lose some weight. I need to lose some weight. I need to lose some. I'll get around to it. It will happen. I know I can do it. But I went in for, I wanted to do some pre-selective surgery, and I had to go in for a physical, and I failed my physical. And I failed my physical for borderline diabetes, and my sugar was 275, and that was like a punch in the face. So it's just like, oh my God, you got to make some changes in your life. And the one thing that Dr. Vince has always said was this program will help you get off medication. And one of the things that I don't do is I don't like taking medication. So for me to have to go do the diabetes test and go through all that stuff and then go on medication, and all it does is it masks it. It doesn't fix it. It just keeps it under control. And I wanted to fix it. And when I sat down with Dr. Vince, we spoke about it, and he told me, he says, if you're not going to do it 100%, don't bother. And I said, I'm in 100%. And here we are, 75 pounds lighter. I will tell you, Dr. Vince, you'd be a little disappointed. I did put on a couple pounds, but hardly nothing. It's like amazing. I'm so happy. My knees thank me every day.
Yeah, that's a critical factor. You've always been a busy guy working really hard, and it catches up with you. And the reality is that life goes by unless you make some significant changes into what's going on in your day-to-day lifestyle. It's just going to continue going down a bad path. And, like many patients, unfortunately, wind up getting to the point where they're challenged. And diabetes type 2 is a very significant factor. It will change your life dramatically if you don't try and get it under control. And that's a critical factor. And we're not saying that every patient is either going to get off their medication, but the majority of people have a reduction in their medication consumption, and many of them are off of it completely. And, we work with the physicians as much as we can, and the doctors basically want to see you in a healthier mode. The problem is that most people haven't been offered something in the past that would make such a significant difference in their life. And it's really us working with you and you implementing the different changes into your lifestyle that'll get you to a point where you're healthier. And this is a significant factor because, there's only one way to go. It's usually downhill. So the fact of the matter is that if you start looking at things in a realistic perspective and you're taught what needs to be done and you get that under control, especially for that 40-day period of time when you're losing the weight significantly and then locking it in, resetting it appropriately, and then following through with lifestyle changes and choices that'll help you keep in a better state of health and function. And it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy yourself. As you know, you can. You just have to know when to stop going down the rabbit hole. And that's a critical factor. And that was a huge thing for many, many years, right, Mike? It was a real challenge a lot of the times.
Oh, like I said, I didn't think I was eating poorly. I thought I ate pretty well. I knew I ate too much, and I knew I, had I will say my vices or my crutches. But when I got smacked in the face, it was just like, okay, I need some help here. And you were definitely the man I went to, and you and your staff helped me understand my issues, helped me get to the point where I was able to apply the diet and stay on it. And it's real important to go every week. And you go every week, and you can see the progress. And as long as you see the progress, that's good. And then implement the things you taught me and put them into my lifestyle, and it make life real easy.
Right. And the coaching aspect is a very important thing, as well as the dietary aspect and the nutritional supplements and the homeopathics and what have you. And the dietary choices that you make, as you know, will change your life dramatically if you implement the things appropriately. And that's the blessing behind this thing is that the program's tried and true. It's triple studied, and it works. And if you do it and implement it appropriately, you get the results like you did. So why don't you share with people right now where you were, where you are, subsequent to that time, and how it made such a significant difference. I mean, one of the best things that I'd love that you had sent me is that when you were up in Acadia Park and you were hiking, you couldn't walk at times. Your legs, your knees were so inflamed, your back was killing you, all the different things. And the diet is anti-inflammatory. So not only was it the compression of the joint, but the things that were going on because your gut wasn't working appropriately. And that's a huge factor when coming into consideration. Your hormones go into a better state of balance. Your gut flora works better. Your digestive function improves. And this is the key factor in getting people back to a better state of health and function. And that's why the program is so unique. And there are very few things out there. My, 40 years of experience in dealing with patients, and especially in the last, I'd say 6 to 7 years implementing this specific program of the Nutrimos protocol. And as a result, we're able to help a lot of people like yourself. And that's a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah. The best thing that happened, like I say, I get up every day, my knees thank me. I was at 270 pounds and I'm 5'10", but I'm pretty big boned. I don't know if that really means anything, but I had a lot of bear strength, and the only thing that I would say was I lost a lot of my bear strength. But what happened is I could pick myself up off the floor, which was a godsend. And then from there, I started walking, and then from walking, I started hiking, and then from hiking, I just got really into it. And when Dr. Vince asked me to send him a picture or something, I said I sent him a picture. I just finished a 10-mile hike in Acadia National Park in Maine, and I was like, I felt great. Everything felt good. I mean, I didn't hurt. My knees weren't hurting, which is a huge deal. My guys who work for me, they used to laugh. They go, now we don't have to pick him up off the floor when he goes down. So they're happy for me. And the ability to sleep better, you breathe better. There's so many pluses. It's like it's just it was.
Well, you're really making you're making a dramatic lifestyle change. Your respiratory function improves, your cardiovascular function improves, your endocrine function, your blood sugar levels changed. I mean, you went back to the doctor and he saw obviously there was a reduction in your blood sugar. Obviously, and he changed the medication consumption that you were taking. Or are you at a point right now that you're still able to stay off the meds?
I never went on the meds because of the diet. I basically said I didn't want to go on medication. I want to fix this. I don't want to just cloak it and hide it and mask it. I don't want to do this. I don't like taking medication as a person. So what I did is I just jumped on it, and because of you and your staff, I got through it, and I've been able to apply it, and my life has changed. I mean, big time.
That's wonderful. I mean, these are the type of things that really make a difference when you're working with people, because the end result is that you have to live with yourself. We can only help you and guide you in the right direction. And as long as you understand the basic tenets of what needs to be done, you don't have to be on a diet per se for the rest of your life. You've made the changes and you know how to eat healthier now. And if you go, as they say, off the wagon a little bit, get right back on board. You indulge a little bit, you know what to do and how to change it and move yourself back to a better state of health and function. And that's a huge factor. It really is.
That is totally correct. I mean, that is a big deal. That is a biggie, because the thing was, like you say, every now and then you're going to go off the wagon. I'm sorry to say. You're going to indulge your friends, family, somebody.
And you know what? That's being a human being. Yeah, definitely. But you know that you have something, a salvation that you basically know, okay, I've changed things in a negative way for a short period of time, as opposed to, it's like I tell people, once you're off the program, you can have that piece of cake every once in a while, pizza and things of that nature, but don't eat the whole cake and don't eat the whole pie. You know what I mean? That's basically what it comes down to. Get yourself into a regimen that you know what works for you. And obviously it has, because you're a success story in many different levels. Here 6 months later, and you've been able to maintain your weight within a certain period of time that you couldn't do before, and this is what happens to a lot of people. Like, they'll lose weight and, it's like, okay, and then they'll put it right back on because they never got to the crux of the issue. And that deals with your metabolism. So you've upregulated your metabolism. And you know what? As we get older, that's something that slows down. So if you could find something in a natural process to try and help your body upregulate and be healthier, it just affects your body in a whole different way. And you're able to still do that. You're still working, I'm sure, and doing the thing that you do, helping people, tell Mike, what do you do? What is it that you do?
I have a clean out company where I help people, they move, downsize, or have estates issues and everything like that. And I help people get to the next step by emptying out the products in their house and property. And then what I do, it's very physical. So I mean, like, I do a lot of lifting, I do a lot of walking. So I was having problems doing that on a regular basis, and now I get to the point where I'm actually I can do it all day and I can do it almost all week.
Right.
And I'm not a youngster. I'm not a youngster anymore either.
No, and the thing that you do, I called you back, if you remember, 6 months ago, and a good friend of mine's son, unfortunately, passed on, and it was the type of thing you had to go in, you had to do the cleanup, you had to help them out. So you support people in a lot of different ways. So let's extrapolate the thought. Not only are you helping yourself, but now you can go out and continue to do the things that you did that makes a big difference in people's lives. You've told me stories of people, we've shared a lot of things over the time period where you had people that lived in a reclusive situation, and you went into their home and you found things that they never even knew that they had, and you were able to help them move, sometimes, especially as they got older, from, the happenstance of their life and what was going on to a better state and a better level of health. So if it wasn't for you taking care of your health, how could you have possibly done that and continue to do it?
I tell people that one all the time. If you don't take care of you, I can't help you. You can't help others, because you need to take care of you to be able to do that.
And that's exactly what you did. And I'm proud of you, Mike. You did it. And,
thank you.
And we've known each other for a while.
Yeah. And what I say, the program taught me to, take my own advice, apply what you need, take care of you, because now I can do so many more things than before. And it's just such a huge difference.
Right. And you have family, you have your daughter and things of that nature. You're able to celebrate and be around for your family. And isn't that such a critical factor? Because, if this last year has taught us anything, that, all the things that we thought were going to happen aren't necessarily happening. So bottom line is, you take care of yourself. And especially at a time with this COVID situation, the most important thing that you own is your own health. And doing what you did made a big difference. In fact, the statistics show that, especially in this country, that the people that have been sick and getting sick the most are people with the issues of obesity and the comorbid factor of diabetes and high cholesterol and high blood pressure. And all those things can change for the better when you implement this program appropriately.
I don't disagree with you at all on that. Because, like, one of the other things that was really great is when my daughter, I told my daughter I was going on a diet, not a diet, on the program. And she was very happy. She goes, Dad, because she's been telling me for a long time that I have to lose weight. And then she hadn't seen me until I lost. She probably saw me at 270 was the last time she saw me. And the next time she saw me was 175. And she goes, oh my God, where did you go? And it was just such a rewarding feeling to see my daughter just so happy, because she was worried about me. And now my kids, they don't worry in that way. They worry in other ways. But she was just happy for me because I took care of myself.
Isn't that amazing? It really, and you did that your whole life for your own children, and now you did it for yourself. And that's a
Yeah.
big factor. So,
Yeah.
there's always hope for people. That's the one thing we want to let them understand. No one's that bad off that something can't help them. And, when you take responsibility for yourself and start to change your own life on an individual basis, and especially if weight is a challenge and all the other things that we talked about on this podcast with blood sugar and everything else, those are huge issues. But the only thing, once again, too, is that it comes down to you making the choice to have a better life and do the things that need to be done to get you to that point. And no one can do that for you, right? Somebody else can't
No.
lose your weight. Somebody else can't reduce your blood sugar. A physician can help you because he doesn't want to see you have a stroke or a heart attack, have a blindness or kidney failure, which is typically what happens, unfortunately, on the long-term effects of a type 2 diabetic situation. So I'm very happy for you, Michael. I'm proud of you. And, what you're doing tonight, hopefully that message will get through to some other people, and we're here to help them. And, it's like, I can't get to them. They have to come to us. But when you share information like this, it's one step moving them closer to saying, you know what, I can change my life. It's not something that I have to live with and then just be sick for the rest of my life. So.
No, like I say,
Huge
thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, team. I've told you that before. Because of you guys is where I am. But the thing was, they just gave me the reassurance. They helped me when you had questions, and they told you some of the things you need to change a little bit or do a little more. Just tweak it a little bit, and as you tweak it, it got better and better. And
Right.
the most amazing thing about the diet, I got to say, the program, it's because it's just weird for me. I was never hungry. Never hungry. And the weight just kept on coming off. And then when you do the reset period, I think the reset was harder than the losing the weight. But at the end, you just see the results. When you look in the mirror, you see yourself, you go, wow, I can't believe I was that big. Or when you put on old pairs of clothes and you're just going like, wow, man, I was that big.
Well, yep. Because you know what? You made the commitment. It kind of reminds me of the story of Napoleon. When he went to invade Russia, they landed on the Isle of Sicily, and he basically burned the ships because he says, there's no going back. And that's basically what you decide to do. There's no going back. And that's what you need to look at, not only from the time that you're on the program, but what you're going to do after that. And, we're always here for you. We're a phone call away. That's the way we work with our clients or patients to get because the whole thing is establishing a point where you can basically have some control. And that's the imperative factor.
Oh God, it's amazing. I mean, like every day, granted, like you say, you fall off the wagon a little. It's not really falling off the wagon. You treat yourself a little bit. Then you go back to what you need to. You go back to what you need to do, and you enjoy it.
Right.
It's just that you don't need it as much, and you don't want it. That's the other thing that's really cool.
Right.
I have I barely do any dairy. I don't do dairy like I used to. I definitely don't do as many carbs. I got to tell you, I couldn't get away from carbs, but I still do some carbs, but nothing like I did before. I don't drink soda anymore. I don't do sweet drinks. And these are the things that were causing me my most problems. And those are the things I was able to correct and not let it affect my life. And so now my life is, it's good. Life is good.
Good.
No
That's
complaints.
fantastic.
Very good.
Michael, we appreciate what you've given us today, and thank you so much because once again, not only are you helping yourself, but by doing this podcast, and we're very grateful that you're doing it, you're sharing a message with other people that they have an opportunity to make the change if they want it. And that was the thing, like I told you right from the beginning, unless you desire to make the change, I can't do it for you. And you did it. So, that's great.
And I thank you.
You're quite welcome. Greg, anything else you'd like to ask Mike tonight?
Well, Mike, for those who are listening, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this program?
No, for me, like I say, it was life changing. I could say a 10, but that would be, I don't know if I could really say that. I could say like almost a 9. It really was. It was so many things changed for the better, and my life got better as a whole. So I'm going to give it a solid. Let's go with a solid 9. I'd be a little. I think
that's a pretty good rating, I would say right now.
There we go.
But I'm like I was saying, I went from 270 to 195 pounds, and I'm going like I never thought I'd get under 200 again. So
that's fantastic.
That makes my day. That makes me happy,
especially at this time of the year.
Yeah. Well, you ready? Now I can have an extra piece of pie.
There you go. And you know what? This is the time of the year that we're grateful for so many different things. You know, that's what Thanksgiving is all about. So the gratitude factor, you can go to a meal, you can enjoy it, and basically just not eat the way you ate before, but still enjoy being with family, or to the level that you can be in this crisis situation that we're in. But the bottom line is that, you know, God bless that you've done some great things to change your life, and I'm really proud of you. So that's great.
And then the other thing that I can do after I have my 2 pieces of pie, I can go on a 5-mile hike and love it.
There you go.
And your knees are not singing to you the next day. Yeah,
no, not
great.
Screaming, not singing. They screamed. So all those things are like, you know, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Well, thank you so much, Michael, for being on the podcast tonight. And let's go into this holiday season with the sense of gratitude that, you know what, you've been given a second chance, and it's up to you to make the changes, and we're always here for you. So thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Gentlemen, have a great evening.
And likewise.
You as well. Take care.
Have a
Happy
good one,
Thanksgiving. Enjoy.